Welcome to 2022. It is a new year for the Evolved Broker Podcast. This initial episode for the year, the purpose of it is to look back on 2021, talk about some insights that we learned about, some really cool things that we didn't know about before, give you guys an idea of who the audience was, talk about what it was like putting together a podcast, and then looking forward into 2022 because based on the traction that we've made and the guests that we've had on, we've been able to do some really cool things for 2022. So let's start by looking back. Why did we start the podcast? We felt that the insurance community was underserved when it came to accessing quality individuals that could help them advance in their careers. We thought that there wasn't anyone in the podcasting medium that was necessarily targeting the insurance community specifically. And so we felt if we could be the lens for that, we could bring dramatic value to that audience. So that was kind of one of the reasonings for starting it. But beyond that, we wanted to spotlight guests in the industry that no one really knew about, right? Or even outside the industry. Podcasting is an excellent platform to get a message out there to a really, really wide audience. And we'll go into the details of that audience soon because it's pretty dramatic. The other thing about podcasting is that we learned is it's an excellent networking tool. I have some great relationships. Our company has great relationships with some of the guests that we've had on, and all it does is bond. It's a win-win. It is a win for the audience because they're learning about something valuable. It's a win for me because I'm learning about something valuable. I'm able to establish a personal connection, and then it's also a win for the guests because they can reach a significant amount of individuals based on the folks that are listening already. I knew at a minimum I would be able to learn by doing this, so that was one of my selfish motivations. But I'll take you guys through some of the audience highlights. We were able to reach listeners in over 25 countries. You may or may not know this, but we cut up the episodes into short highlight clips. On average, we got 5,000 views per short clip. We were able to reach 65,000 brokers via email, and overall, we have more than 300,000 views on social media. So it's getting out there. It's exciting, and anyone can do it. So highly recommend it. Just a quick guest review, and I think this kind of plays to the guests that we'll have in 2022 as well. But we focused on individuals that could provide the most value to the insurance world. So sales, negotiation. We had experts from both of those fields on. We had insurance industry leaders, the CEOs talking about their vision for not only their company, but the industry in general. Business icons that can provide generic scaling advice or, advice on how to run a meeting as basic as that, because all that applies to insurance. And we also had some of the best business school teachers in the nation on to talk about some of their courses that could specifically apply to our industry, our community. So I thought that was awesome, and I think that we're going to kind of follow that example as we move on in the future, and we're open to any advice for any guest that anyone thinks would be valuable. The next section, we kind of went through looking back, but I also want to, I guess a big element of looking back is advice for starting a podcast, because I believe every business needs a podcast if you can systematize it. If you can make it easy and simple and you can distribute it effectively, that's the key, because you don't want it taking up a ton of your time. You want to make sure it's done quickly, efficiently, and you have a system that cranks these things out and makes sure you're getting engagement. And so the starting point for that is equipment. A Rodecaster Pro to be able to record everything, Rode microphone stands that I have in my hand, Sennheiser microphones, Sennheiser headphones, Shure microphones. You can set all this stuff up in a conference room. It's easy to set up and also take down. If you're going to do it, you might as well be videoing it because you're going to hit another medium that someone might want to consume more than just the audio. A lot of times it's more interesting. Maybe they're sitting at their desk. So if you're going to get a videographer, I'd highly recommend Upwork.com for freelance videographers. If you're going to distribute it, it's ideal to cut up the videos using v.io because they're a lot more digestible on social media. If you're going to create images, maybe you need an image for the show or an image for the guest on a particular episode, Canva. Couldn't recommend that more. Canva.com for creating really cool content really quickly. Anyone can learn it. Long story short, systematize it and you will see opportunities that you never knew were around you, but now you have so many people consuming this that a lot of stuff gets thrown on your plate. So we looked back. Now I want to do a 2022 preview. We learned a lot. 2022 will be even better than 2021. We will have a lot more consistency. Our schedule will be, we're going to be in February releasing episodes on the first and third Monday of every month moving forward throughout the rest of 2022. So we can be a lot more reliable and our audience can be ready to consume it in a more effective way as opposed to just kind of ad hoc when we got a really good guest. So on that point, the guests that we've had on and the traction we've had has allowed us to get some really, really cool guests for 2022. And we're actually thinking of even doing an entire sales series with some of the best sales experts that exist in the United States and some of the best authors of the top 5 sales books that are out there. If you were to Google that, we have some of the best authors that we either talk to or will be talking to. So very excited for all the insurance producers out there. We have some public speaking experts that are going to come on. Public speaking is a tool that everybody, especially people in the insurance industry, could be better at. We have insurance thought leaders, CEOs of some of the biggest firms that exist and that are creating the future for the insurance industry. We have Harvard Business School professors, and we have moved into the insurtech space to have some of the founders on that are going to have a big impact in terms of how we do business on a daily basis, because the technology revolution for insurance is coming. It's a matter of time. So big 2022 ahead of us. If you are in the audience and you're listening, the more engagement you can have with us, the better. We want to know if you're enjoying the content. And the ways that we know about that is if you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting. If you are interacting with the content digitally, that's what will allow us to see what's doing well, what's not, along with emailing me directly or DMing me on some social media platform. So my email is pat@evolvedbrokerpodcast.com. My LinkedIn is Pat Costello. My Instagram is Pat B. Costello. Feel free to message me there on any platform if you have any thoughts on someone that could provide value, any way we can improve the podcast. Don't hesitate. Would love to hear your feedback. And again, it's so easy to just click the like button, click the subscribe button, or just share it on social media. It's literally one click away. So that's how we know that we're expanding the reach and we're putting out content that people would enjoy. That's all we want to do, is valuable content for the insurance world. So with all that said, don't be shy. I'm very excited for 2022, and I'm very excited to get your guys' thoughts on these next few episodes. Thanks.